Welcome to the next episode of the Northern Chorus Fantasy Pints Podcast. Under promising, over delivering until now. It's been 2 weeks.
James, is that how long it's been?
I think so. I think my calculations are correct. And I was going to say that it was your first one back because you'd also missed the last two. However, you make like the town you're from, St. Helens, who made it 3 in a row. Super League titles. You're making it 3 in a row. Missed podcasts. I'm talking about the main body, of course.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, James is missing 3 in a row.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. But it's child duties again.
Yes.
So again, I can't really criticize you. But you're here for the intro. You'll be here for the outro.
Here for the edit. That's the important bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
The leg work.
Removing all my stuttering. How are you doing anyway?
I'm all right. Feeling good. Feeling fresh.
Fresh?
Yeah.
Would you say fresh? You were feeling fresh after our Otley run? I think we've mentioned it on the podcast before, but we went on our 6-a-side end of season due to the Otley run in Leeds on Saturday. And we're recording this on Tuesday? Yeah. Wednesday? It is Wednesday. I'm getting everything wrong.
Surprisingly didn't feel as bad on Sunday as I was definitely expecting to. And I think that's partly because I drank Guinness most of the day before we went back into the city. I'd like to
rule out that theory.
Drink Guinness.
I'll rule out that theory because I was also drinking Guinness.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've always found that if I drink Guinness over like lager or anything else, I don't tend to get a hangover. It's fantastic. Well,
it's like a Sunday dinner, isn't it? Guinness.
It's like a meal in a pint.
A meal in a pint, but a delicious meal in a pint at that. But yeah, we were all dressed up. Would you like to say who you were?
I was boring. I was just Gaza. Yeah, the white hairspray retro England kit job. It was great.
Wasn't boring. It's just you're very tall. Gaza's quite a small man, isn't he? So
yeah, but then to be Peter Crouch would have been obvious, wouldn't it? So
I've just realised the person I went over is a lot taller than me, so that doesn't really. It's the opposite.
Sean, for any rugby league fans, was Earl Crabtree of Huddersfield
Giants legend
fame. Yeah,
had a nice blonde wig on. Had my arm strapped
up.
My arm is still bruised from
some war wounds there. Sean, you did get my vote for best dressed. I think I was the only one that voted for you, unfortunately.
You did. That made the strapping worth it, though. I got one of those votes as we voted. But tell you what, I mentioned though that you were tall for a Gaza, but you were very handy when we went to Stone Roses Bar because you towered above the whole dance floor, and whenever you went to the bar, you could always work your way back because this very tall figure was looming.
Yeah, well, I thought the same thing about shout him out again. He loves the shout out Adam during the Otley run, not because he's tall, but because of his headwear. Okay. He was unmistakable from a distance. Adam went as Peter Snakebite Wright.
He did indeed, and he very early on found a fellow Peter Snakebite Wright. I think we were all surprised. We knew that everyone did fancy dress, but we were surprised at the extent because we weren't definitely going to do it. It was kind of just mentioned. It was never like, oh, we have to do it. So imagine if we'd have turned up in our normal clothes because literally everyone was there.
We would have felt like idiots. Yeah, we'd have felt like idiots. Adam did see another Peter Snakebite Wright, but my favourite moment was when he saw Michael Van Gerwen. Now, talk about lazy outfits, that was I mean, they say lazy, it's probably expensive because he had an official MVG polo.
Yeah, but you also did say he wore that to Pontings or something.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. But it was just a bald head. I think he just fully took advantage of how bald he was.
He did.
And decided it would work, and it did.
Yeah, it did. It was good. And I said to him, do you always get these chants? Because everywhere he walked, people were just chanting, oh, Michael Van Gerwen. Yeah. But anyway, we've recovered now. We look ahead to the new season, and we look ahead to the next podcast.
Yeah, default win, last game of the season tonight. That's always good.
Exactly. Good old
6-0 victory.
6-0 victory. So this week we have Tom A. Smith, formerly known as Tom Mouse Smith. on the podcast. He's doing very well at the minute. He's just started releasing his own music. He was, when he was younger, he was known for his covers, which I'll speak to him about, James, because you're not going to be here. He's done a lot, considering he's only 18 years old in the industry, so it should be a really good chat. Again, assuming he turns up, because we are actually recording this intro beforehand. We usually just record it after.
Yeah.
But we keep saying for once, though, so now maybe we're just...
Maybe this is just a season 2 trait. Yeah, this is what we do.
That's just us. But yeah, let's get him in. And we're joined this week, fresh from the release of his new single, Could I Live With Being Fake? It's Tom A. Smith. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. How are you?
I'm brilliant, thank you. I think I'm doing a bit better than you because you just had a 7-hour trip, haven't you?
We have, yes. A lot of traffic, but it was well worth it. On tour with Sunset Suns have been fantastic, and it's been nice going up and down the country with the band. The first tour with the band as well, so it's been great.
Yeah. So that's done now, the Sunset Suns tour?
Yeah, that's done now. Final night was in Bristol yesterday.
Okay. And the band then. So you talk about the first real sort of tour with the band. How much of a difference have they made to the live performance?
Absolutely immeasurable, the amount of difference I've made. It's insane, because obviously my the records that I put out so far, my sound is it's a full band sound. It's not really a solo artist sound. It's got it's massive, and it's really hard to replicate on your own every time. You can't replicate it on your own, and doing it with a band, the energy that the songs have got, it's just takes it to the next level, and it's such a great live performance. I love it.
Yeah. We talk about sort of that development, but we'll take it back even earlier, because you've packed, for someone who's just turned 18, you've packed quite a lot into your career so far. You were formerly known as Tom Mouse Smith. People might know you by that name as well, and now obviously establishing yourself under Tom A. Smith. But let's take it back to there. Let's throw a few names out there, because James Bay, Catfish, and the Bottlemen. What happened? Tell us about your youth.
So I started learning guitar when I was about 4 from 2 lads called Bondy, and also Chris Corty, and they were in a band called Detroit Social Club. And every single week they'd come around, we'd play some FIFA, play football, and then spend 10 minutes learning guitar. And eventually they went off to, Chris worked with James Bay as his guitar technician. And, I remember going to see James Bay playing in front of literally just us at festivals sometimes. And then within the space of a couple of months, he released Whole Back the River and took off. And he gave me an incredible opportunity to open for him at Tynemouth Priory at the festival that they've got there, which was insane. It was in front of about 8,000 people when I was 12. And Catfish, the Bottlemen, obviously Bondy was asked to play guitar for Catfish. So then I ended up doing quite a few dates with them whenever they played in Newcastle. So got fortunate with that as well. But honestly, it was really cool. And, these were like my heroes at the time as well. So it was amazing to do all that.
Yeah. So how old were you? And how does someone, I imagine you're quite young, and how did you have sort of the courage to perform on stage in front of so many people? Was that natural to you, or did it take time?
No, it takes time. I mean, I remember the first time I opened for Catfish, it was at O2 Academy in Newcastle. It was in front of about 2,500 people. And I remember the whole set just wanted the entire thing to end because it was just absolutely horrifying. But the second I got off, I was like, wow, yeah, that's insane. This is what I want to do. And just that buzz, it was amazing. But yeah, of course I get nervous. I mean, I still get nervous now, really. But once you're on stage and once you're seeing the reaction and people, engaging with it, it's amazing.
Yeah, because you'll have already done sort of in your teenage years what people will start to do at your age now. So I feel like you're probably better prepared. We'll talk about the new single, Could I Live With Being Fake? What's that all about?
So it's a song that is basically, I mean, the title says it all, really. Could I live with being fake? Could I live with being something that I'm not? Should I go for, what's going to give me fame? What's going to give me success? But maybe not in the most authentic, natural way you can? Or do I just enjoy it, do it because I love it? And if I can gain success from that in that way, then that's much better and it's amazing. But it's not as, it's not as much as a guarantee, maybe. Yeah. So it's all about, work around that. Do I want to be me, or do I want to be fake, and do I want to be something that I'm not, in order to, give myself the best opportunity in quite a difficult and competitive sort of place in the world of music.
Yeah. And how long have you had this song in your locker then? Because I think I've seen you play it before. It was quite about a year ago. So was it? I imagine it was longer than that.
Yeah. Well, I wrote it a few months before the first lockdown. So it was a couple of years old now, that one. I mean, I wrote a hell of a lot of songs in lockdown. I wrote around 200 tracks now that I've got from, the many lockdowns that we did have. But yeah, that was one of the first from that sort of, it was the first from that collection. It's always sort of stayed right up at the top for me. And it personally is my favourite song.
Yeah. Okay. And when did the transition from Tom Mousesmith to Tom A. Smith happen then? Was that during lockdown? Was that?
It was, yes. I was fortunate enough to meet my manager, Mike Walsh, who's been absolutely fantastic. I now work with Mike and the other manager, Neil Hughes, as well. And I think we just sort of decided, now that I'm starting to write my own music and I'm moving away from being a cover artist, because that's predominantly what I was. I was, a 10-year-old finishing my set with Don't Look Back in Anger, which was amazing at the time and got everyone going. But, now that I want to, get a career out of this as a songwriter, I've got to write my own music. And we thought, with the sort of change and the maturity of what I'm doing, I think it's only right that I go for a different name, start fresh, and have a new image about it, and just sort of, be myself now, and, as I said, mature it, and, become older as I've now turned into an adult, which is a bit weird.
Yeah. Something else that's happened is obviously the production of your own songs. You mentioned you did covers. Is it Larry Hibbert who you've worked with? How much of an influence has he been?
He's been absolutely sensational. He's so good. The best thing about it is, when I wrote these songs, I mean, you listen to the demos of the tracks, they're pretty much the exact same as what we have in the final version, but Larry just makes it that 20%, 30% better than what it was before, and, just gives it that oomph, and that, makes it sound much better for radio, because, I mean, he's a producer. He's a hell of a lot better producer than I am. And, the equipment that he's got, and he's an absolute genius. He's brilliant.
Yeah. And just, obviously the accent speaks for itself, and something I was going to come on to was the Northeast. We had Andrew Cushion on here, who said that he thinks the Northeast, I think he said in about 5 years, was going to be sort of reflective of Manchester in sort of the 90s, which is a huge statement to make. But coming from there yourself, what does it feel like? What's the region like for you?
It's really, really exciting. I think in the past, it's not really been, the hub of music in the country, but I think we really are seeing a surge in, especially alternative artists and songwriters in the Northeast. I mean, we've got the biggest in the country now in Sam, so he's leading the way at the minute, and he's not only done a massive favour for everybody in the Northeast, but I think for literally guitar music and alternative music as a whole. I think with 17 Going Under getting third in the charts or something like that on Spotify, that's unheard of. With it being a guitar-based song, so I think we really are starting to see a massive change up in the Northeast, and I'll back us. Even though I'm on the other side of the river to them too.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was careful to say. But so you're sort of carving your own sort of career now with this Northeast, that's a vibrant music. How, I'm assuming, I think we spoke about this before, but you must get asked to do covers because of what you were known as previously. So now, when you've got your own material, how hard is it to avoid throwing the odd covering? Because I know you try to stick to your own set, don't you?
It's tough. Sometimes you see the reaction, and obviously when people don't know your songs, it's really hard to keep a whole audience of people engaged for half an hour or however long your set is. So sometimes you do have that urge, but I think it's really important that, if you are a songwriter, that, these are your songs, and that is a craft in itself. So for people to be able to hear these tunes, I think it's important. But yeah, there's the odd time where I'm like, oh, I could do with sticking a Don't Look Back in Anger in here. But, the set's been going down really well, really well at the moment, and the reaction that my songs are getting, not just when I'm playing them live, but also when I'm releasing them and, you know, online, that I'm seeing it, I'm just really over the moon with all the minute.
Yeah. I've obviously seen it all online, and when watched you obviously at Albert Hall before Gang of Youth, like the crowd were just engaged. It was quite a big support crowd watching.
Yeah, it was incredible. That one, incredible. Yeah. That whole tour was really interesting and phenomenal, because I was going into this thinking, Gang of Youth, it's a big sound, Gang of Youth, and you know, I'm main supporting this, and it's just me and my guitar and me little amp, but I loved it. It was really good. Yeah.
What were they like for you? Were they nice guys? Were they welcoming in?
They were absolutely phenomenal. Especially Dave, the front man. He taught me so much in just engaging with the people who were watching you, and also he was giving me tips on songwriting and performance. Because you watch him as a performer, he's just absolutely sensational. He's so good. And, you know, I've been trying to implement bits of it here and there in my band performance now, but I'm not quite his level yet. But we're getting there. And the whole band is just the great as well. The sound, how professional they were in sound check and everything like that. You know, they were, in my opinion, they are one of, if not the best band in the world at the minute. I love them.
Yeah, they're brilliant. But your support slots don't end there, do they? Because you've got quite a big one coming up. Miles Kane. What's that for you? That is massive.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, the venues are playing there. Miles Kane on his own, that is just insane. What a legend he is. But the venues we're getting to play is just incredible. At this Roundhouse in London, you know, we did Leadmill a couple of weeks ago, and to do that with Miles Kane, that's going to be absolutely bouncing. That's going to be insane. So I'm looking forward to that. And also having Brooke Coombe on the lineup as well. I think she's an absolute star, and she's brilliant as well. I saw her at Stockton Calling a couple of weeks ago, and she was absolutely brilliant. So me and the band, we're just buzzing for it. We really are.
Yeah. I was going to mention Brooke because it's like the male and the female little prodigies coming through there.
It is in a minute. It's really great to see.
Yeah, but you mentioned festivals, so I'll have to talk about 110 Above. Where I had the pleasure of camping.
Oh yes, yeah. It was great.
I remember you saying that's. I think you might have said it was your favourite festival. What is it about that that's so special? Because I know what you mean, but
it feels so, you know, community. It's like a community there. It's really like, because there's only 4 stages, and you know the lineup that they get for the size of the festival. It's just insane. It is just ridiculous, and I'm over the moon to be doing it again this year. And you know, we're just it is hands down my favorite festival, and I'm buzzing for it again. It's really cool.
Well, you did a few slots. Was it 2 or 3 you did last year?
We did. I managed to get on that Thursday night. You know, that the intimate session that
Thursdays,
they had. And that was amazing. That was great. And obviously, the gospel in the next day, which was great as well.
Yeah. And obviously, your dad was there, obviously, all the time. I think you shouted him out. He's quite a character, isn't he? You shouted him out at the Albert Hall show. I think you said something about he was going out on the lash.
yeah. I mean, because I was going out. I'm 18 now, so I can join him now. But you know, I was finishing these gigs playing at Brixton Academy and all sorts. And then, you know, I'd come off stage, and all I've got to do is go back to the hotel. Well, you know, with him being 40 odd, he can go out and enjoy a drink and come back. But you know what? I'm 18 now, so even though I still don't really do it, to be fair, I still don't do it. We keep level-headed and we enjoy it. But yeah, he's brilliant, and he's so supportive, and literally comes to absolutely everything, and he's meant.
So see, when you say you don't do it, you've not had a drink since 18.
Oh, of course I've had a drink. I've had a drink.
Because my first question was going to be, what was your first legal tipple since?
My first legal pint was it's awful, really. I had a Coors Light. I know.
But when we talk about that, obviously, it leads us on to the theme of the pod, which is fantasy pints. So. Okay. It's where we sort of delve into people's inspirations, or just who they like as people, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So we ask each guest for the 3 musicians, past or present, that they could spend an evening with, get to know, have a pint with, have a pint of Coors Light with.
Yeah.
But who is your first choice?
So for me, the way I was thinking of this is, if I'm going to sit and have a pint with these absolute legends, what I need to think is, right, okay, what am I going to get from this? Can I create a super group with these people? So I've sort of tried to create a band with this all, instead of just having like loads of frontmen, absolute stars. So the first one I'm going for is, obviously I'm going to have Paul McCartney, because he's just, he's a genius. And, then my bass is sorted, all my bass is sorted, and we get some backing vocals as well. That'd be mint.
Yeah.
I'll have Jimmy Page, my absolute guitar hero. He genuinely is. He's insane. I'm absolutely obsessed with Led Zeppelin. The first vinyls I ever bought was Zeppelin 1 to 4, all of them. Absolutely love them. And of course, we'll have to pick who's doing the guitar solos, because I want one as well. But and then on drums, I'm gonna have Dave Grohl, because having a drink with him, I think he would be. He just looks like a proper character and looks like great fun. Yeah. So hopefully, I can try and like get them to create a sort of super group with us, make me sound a bit better. But
yeah, I like the way you've gone about it. Dave Grohl on drums, true. Yeah, and you leading from the front. That's what.
Hopefully, if Paul lets us.
Yeah. So is Paul your favourite Beatle then? I'm assuming.
Of course. Yeah, he's a genius. Especially after watching Get Back, just seeing how he sort of was. He was the main man taking it all. He's just class.
Yeah. Okay. Short and sweet, but I liked your choices. Honestly, brilliant bit of thought you put into it there. But so what is in store now? You've got your own music out there. You've had the EP out. Obviously, a new single. Where'd you go from here?
So, I mean, for me, I just take every day as it comes. We've got an absolute chocker summer, which we are buzzing for. Looking forward to it. We've got Neighbourhood Weekend there. We're going over to the Czech Republic, which I announced the other day, which I'm buzzing for. I get to see Green Day live, which I'm looking forward to. That'll be cool. We got many more things coming up too. I've got plenty more songs recorded, done with Larry, that are ready to go. So we should be seeing them soon. But, we take every day as it comes, and I'm just buzzing for it all. It's all just so surreal. It's all been so quick. It's been a matter of a couple of months where it's just gone from here to here. And, I'm just so excited for what's next. Really am.
I imagine. And you're going to 110 again, aren't you?
We got 110 again. Yes. Looking forward to that.
Of course. I'm hoping you'll go in exactly the same spot. Just pick up where we left off.
Of course, without a doubt.
Yeah, but did you play something with Tim Burgess as well when you were younger? I forgot to mention it earlier.
I did. I did it quite a bit with the Charlatans. So he runs that Tim Peaks Diner, which is at many festivals scattered around the country, but predominantly Kendall Corland was where I was playing at most of them. And it's a really cool venue at Kendall Corland. It's like a sort of cafe shed thing, and I did it maybe like 3-4 years in a row. He's absolutely fantastic. He gives me great advice on songwriting and, just working in music in general when I was about 12, 13. And he was incredibly supportive. I think I then supported them at O2 Academy in Newcastle in 2017, and then managed to get on tour with them when they did release their album Different Days, which was really fun to do. Yeah. I remember playing in a shoe shop with them, which was cool.
Where was that?
It was Oxford Street, maybe, in Manchester.
Clark's. Yeah. But it's like these things just pop up. What I remember from obviously what you've said and what I've seen. It's like so much. But with you having done so much, what is, when you look forward, what is your goal? What would you do? What could you do and sit down afterwards and think, right, that's it. I've done it now.
So I think for me, at the minute, for a songwriter like Paul McCartney, like Noel Gallagher or whoever, to sit down, listen to my song and say, yeah, he can write a tune. Even though, to be fair, that's already sort of happened. Elton John the other week, playing me on his Rocket Hour, which was insane. But yeah, just having a songwriter like that, listen to my tune and go, yeah, he can write a song. I think that would do for me. But of course, my thing is playing live, and I'd love to play the biggest venues. I'd love to play stadiums, arenas. But I just enjoy playing music and I enjoy writing and working with people. So
yeah,
I'd love to do this as long as I can.
Yeah, well, I'm intrigued. What did Elton say about you then? Was it?
Well, the first thing he said was that I looked like a 13-year-old, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll take it. And then he said that I'm going to be a big star. So hopefully he's right. But that was pretty insane and surreal to hear him saying that, of all people.
Yeah. Well, I saw you retweet something where it's like someone had said it looked a bit like a school band, but it was unreal, and you were like, I'm not sure whether to retweet this or not. It's like a backhanded.
Yeah. But to be fair, I mean, I'm 18, but I can say I don't look it.
Yeah. Well, it's a compliment at the end of the day, isn't it?
Oh, of course. I'm sure many bands would love to look like they're a school band now, but
yeah, exactly. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you at some festivals, and
hopefully,
best of luck with the Miles Kane support. That should be good.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, and thanks very much for your time, for coming on.
Thanks for having us. It's been great.
No worries. Right, cheers. See ya.
Cheers, man.
And we're back. That was Sunderland's very own Tom A. Smith.
That was an interesting chat. Sean, just after we finished recording the intro, you piqued my interest when you said that you were going to put some nuggets and chips in the oven. How did they taste?
They've just got in the oven. Are you pretending that this?
I was playing the game of this being legitimately after the podcast. Yeah,
the game's becoming all too predictable because we're having to do this without you doing the main body of the podcast. So maybe next time we should turn up.
Yeah, I'll try.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
So obviously, the pod has not yet happened.
It hasn't just happened.
What did you think? So what did you think of Tom?
Listen, I know Tom. I camped next to him at a festival. This is another one of the people that we've already kind of met on the podcast. So even though this is being recorded before the pod, I know that he's a lovely, lovely fella.
Did he remember you when you mentioned it to him on the pod?
He will definitely remember who I am. Yeah,
I'm sure.
We spent 4 days together, and he sorted me out with a nice gig in Manchester since.
There you go. Excellent stuff.
So he's a great person, and he's elevating in the music industry at the minute. So he's doing very well for himself, and long may it continue.
Smashing it.
Indeed.
Smashing it. Have we anything to talk about? Anything coming up?
Anything coming up? I'm going watching Foals next week.
Okay.
Does that count?
Yeah, that's good.
And that'll definitely be before the next one.
I'm watching on Monday a boy called Ryan McMullen.
Ryan McMullen.
Yeah. Artist.
Indeed.
Yeah. Supporting Larkin Poe at the Ritz in Manny 0161.
Quite a decent venue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. I'm sure it'll be good. You can pretend you're a little hipster getting in before you saw Larkin Poe at the Ritz. You can be that guy.
Yeah.
So we'll look forward to next week or the week after when you will be back in the main body of the podcast.
If we just dissect that statement, there's a couple of things to point out from there, mainly focused around promises that we're not making this season. You mentioned next week.
That's why I quickly said the week after.
And you mentioned the week after, both of which would be categorized as time frames, which we are not offering. You also promised my attendance.
which has been proven to be unreliable.
So let's just say we'll see you next time. And I will almost certainly be in the intro and outro. Almost as sure as taxes. May not so be in the body of the pod, depending on our very generous guests' busy timelines and whether or not I can work my somewhat busy life into that. In the meantime, enjoy this one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have just enjoyed this one. We're in the outro, James. And you can find us on social media. Sean?
Twitter at Northern Chorus _, Instagram at Northern Chorus, and Facebook Northern Chorus UK. And you can also head to the website www.northernchorus.co.uk, where there is a fresh interview with the Raytons ahead of their performance at Meadowlands Festival in Nottingham on 3rd of June. Bang.
Brilliant. See you next time.